Welcome to this podcast from the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading, Massachusetts. I'm Reverend Tim Kutzmark, the minister of this regional church serving communities north of Boston. We are an intentionally inclusive congregation, welcoming people of all ages, beliefs, religious backgrounds, cultural origins, differing abilities, and sexual orientations. If you are in the area, know that you are invited to join us for Sunday services. For more information on our church or on Unitarian Universalism, please visit our website at www.uureading.org. That's www.uureading.org. And now, please enjoy this podcast of the sermon.
My nephew, John Copernicus, turns 3 years old this week. One of his early birthday presents was a big, bold planet Earth blanket. Superimposed on the large, comfortable blanket is this beautiful photograph of the Earth taken from space. You've probably seen that photograph. Yesterday, my sister said, John spread out the blanket in the living room, stood in the middle of it, and with childlike abandon began jumping up and down, up and down, up and down on the photo of the Earth, shouting, "I'm the center of the world! I'm the center of the world! I'm the center of the universe! I'm the center of the universe." It's appropriate for a 3-year-old to think that they are at the center of the world, that everything revolves around them, and that their wants and needs are indeed the primary organizing principle of the universe. Part of the process of maturation from child to adult is that disillusioning and inevitable shift in perspective from experiencing oneself at the center of all things to realizing that we are just one minuscule part of something so much larger than ourselves. We aren't really the center of anything. As a collective society, as human beings, we are still acting like a 3-year-old, standing in the center of our comfortable lifestyle on planet Earth, jumping up and down with abandon and shouting, "We're the center of the world! We're the center of the world! We're the center of the universe!" We collectively act as if our human wants and needs are the primary organizing principle of the universe. Our rampant consumerism and consumption, our disposable lifestyle, our processed food hunger, our ravaging of natural resources, the toxic stew we spew into the environment, the atmosphere, and the oceans all stem from this self-referential point of view. If one of the developmental tasks of humankind is to shift from a childlike understanding to an adult awareness, perhaps it's time we, as a human society, begin growing up. We're not the center of the world. The 7th principle of our Unitarian Universalist religion reminds us that we, as a people of faith, affirm and promote the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. In order to live up to this foundational principle of our faith, we're going to have to start making choices that shift our human-centric focus, that reconnect us to the true life of this planet. The first peoples, the indigenous ones, knew this well. Listen to these words attributed to Chief Seattle, a Native American elder from the Pacific Northwest. "We are part of the earth, and it is part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The bear, the deer, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The rocky crests, the dew in the meadow, the body heat of the pony, and humankind all belong to the same family. this we know, the earth does not belong to us, we belong to the earth. All things are connected like the blood that unites us all. We did not weave the web of life. We're merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. I wonder what would have to change within us in order to feel this family of all things. Kevin Haley, a member of a Washington, D.C.-based organization formed to assist communities in becoming more familiar with indigenous wisdom rites, the goal is to dissolve the boundaries that usually separate us from the natural world, to feel so much a part of things that there is no I, there's no wilderness, there's only the all-inclusive process, what the ancient Chinese called the Tao, what Native Americans call the spirit that moves in all things, and what we shallowly refer to as nature. Colin Fletcher described the experience well when he said, "At such moments, we do not commune with nature," a trite phrase that seems to classify nature as something outside and separate from us humans. At such moments, we know deep in our fabric, with a certainty more secure than intellect can offer, that we are part of the wholeness of the universe, the great unity. Reason can't take us all the way there. Only with feeling can we complete the journey. We must feel the connections that exist between us and everything else in the world. Only when we can begin to see ourselves as part of a greater whole, no more or less important than any other part, can we experience that feeling. It is, at bottom, a spiritual experience, a spiritual feeling. And it's not just a matter of our own personal or spiritual fulfillment. It has become a matter of survival for our civilization as a whole. Separating oneself from the natural world almost inevitably leads to the idea that humanity occupies a privileged position in the hierarchy of things, and that because of our intellect or some other rationalized criteria, we are rightfully above the plants, birds, beasts, and other creatures with which we share this planet. This, in turn, leads to the idea that humankind has dominion over the natural world, that it was created for our use, and that it is ours to do with as we see fit. I think there's two ways to look at life on this planet. The first way is to see life as made up of many separate parts: animals, plants, rocks, oceans, storms, humans, all these parts interacting in separate and unrelated ways. The second way is to look at the planet as one living and breathing organism. There's no separation. Rather, every animate and inanimate thing is actually just one living entity. There's only one life here, one living being. The ancient Greeks called this unity Gaia, their name for the goddess of the earth who sits perched here under the plant. Sir Crispin Tickell, a celebrated English environmentalist, writes, "The notion of the earth itself as an alive being came up regularly in Greek philosophy. Later, during the Enlightenment, Leonardo da Vinci saw the human being as a microcosm of the earth and the earth as a macrocosm of the human body, one interconnected living being. Giordano Bruno was burned at the stake just over 400 years ago for maintaining that the earth was alive. The geologist James Hutton saw the earth as a self-regulating system as early as 1785. But it wasn't until the 1970s when chemist James Lovelock and microbiologist Lynn Margulis resurrected the holistic name Gaia and set it solidly in science. They put forth the Gaia theory that suggests that the Earth behaves as a single self-regulating system comprised of physical, chemical, biological, and human components. The physical and living elements above, below, and on the surface of the Earth combine into one self-regulating consciousness, a universal feedback system. Gaia theory says that all organisms and all inorganic things form a single and self-regulating system that maintains the conditions for life on the planet, contributing to the stability of global temperature, balance in the oceans, oxygen in the atmosphere, and other factors that maintain the life of the whole. Today, we call this perspective Earth system science, and it's gaining in respect, moving into the mainstream of scientific thought. But this Earth system, this Gaia, is facing a serious crisis. The problem, according to biologist E.O. Wilson, is that we, as human beings, have disturbed the self-sustaining equilibrium of the system. Wilson writes, "We have, all by our wobbly-headed selves, altered Earth's atmosphere and climate away from the norm. We spread thousands of toxic chemicals worldwide, appropriated 40% of the solar energy that should be available for photosynthesis, converted almost all the easily arable land, dammed up most of the rivers, raised the planet sea level, and now, in a manner likely to get everyone's attention like nothing else before it, we are close to running out of fresh water." James Lovelock, the father of the Gaia theory, expounds, "We human beings," he says, "have grown to the point where our presence is perceptively disabling the planet like a disease. As in human diseases, there are 4 possible outcomes. First, destruction of the invading disease organisms, which means the destruction of humankind. Chronic infections that never go away, destruction of the host, destruction of the earth, or symbiosis, a lasting relationship of mutual benefit to the host and the invader. The moment to choose to create symbiosis is now. Rachel Carson, the mother of the contemporary environmental movement, knew this when she said, "We stand now where 2 roads diverge. The road we have been traveling is deceptively easy, a smooth superhighway on which we progress with great speed, but at its end is disaster. The other fork of the road, the one less traveled by, offers our only chance, our last chance to reach a destination that assures the preservation of the earth." Here at our church, there's a team of folks who are committed to helping us walk that road towards preservation. Our Green Sanctuaries team mission is powerful. They want to build awareness of societal environmental issues and to generate our commitment to personal lifestyle changes, none of which will be easy for any of us. They wish to help us think and live more mindfully green. They want to motivate us as a church to take community and political action on environmental issues and to take steps to rectify environmental injustices. Right now, our Green Sanctuary team is small, far too small, only 5 or 6 members. It's too small given the magnitude of their mission. Now, if you'd like to know more about Gaia and this fragile web of all existence, if you'd like to be with a group of people who share tips and tricks for green living, if you care about the sustainability of life on this planet and how we leave this earth to our children and to future generations, then you just might want to connect up with our Green Sanctuary team. They'll be in Fellowship Hall after the service to answer questions and to invite us to become part of their sacred and essential work. In the words of John Seed, may they and we awaken a sense of who we truly are. May they and we fill each of us with love for our true self, which includes all of the creatures and plants and landscapes of the world. May we all awaken to our true and only nature, the nature of Gaia, this living planet. May we someday together stand on this precious earth, jumping gently up and down, with joy, shouting, "We are part of the earth. We are part of the earth. We are part of the universe."